Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. So y'all have probably heard the news about schools being virtual for the rest of the year. Just so everybody is reminded, that doesn't mean that school is closed, just the campus is closed. We're still doing stuff, we're still doing learning. So those of you who took a month off, you still have time to catch up because we still have a month left of school. So make sure that you're paying attention and getting yourself engaged. We still don't know what that looks like as a district. We don't know what that looks like when it comes to grading. Everything is just kind of coming at us and we're trying to roll with the punches. So in the same way that I'm extending grace to you guys, and hopefully your other teachers are doing this, but have patience. Have patience with the school district, have patience with our administration, have patience with your teachers, because we're all trying to figure out what this looks like. We want you guys to feel successful. We want you guys to feel like there is opportunity and chance, and we want to make sure that everybody is getting an equitable amount of classroom time. So please make sure that you are engaging with your teachers, that you're still engaging with us, because we miss you, and this is a hard time and it's still a confusing time and we don't really know what it looks like 100%. If you haven't already done so, please do the halfway check-in survey. This is not a graded assignment, but it really helps me know what's working. I have never done distance learning before, so I don't know what's going to be helpful. I've never taught Romeo and Juliet via the interwebs. So if there's something that I'm doing that's really helpful, or something that I could be doing to be more helpful, I don't want you guys to feel like you're in the dark. I don't want you guys to feel like you're out on a limb. So please make sure that you're being proactive and you're being clear about what you need during this time. So getting into it, Romeo and Juliet. We finished Act 3 by this point. We also have, hopefully you finish Act 3 quiz. I haven't done it. It's okay. There's still time to turn that in. There are no late grades during this quarantine time. However, the more that you wait, the harder it's going to be to catch up on a lot of those things, because we're going to read both Act 4 and Act 5. You've noticed that Act 3 gets pretty intense and then everything just snowballs up until then. So make sure that you're staying on top of that and just being aware of what that looks like. I'm going to try and post some film versions of Romeo and Juliet for some sections that might be a little bit confusing, or you're like, I still have no idea what happened during that time. I would encourage you to find versions yourself. There's a bunch on YouTube. There are a ton of versions that you can buy or rent on Amazon Prime. There's like one or two on Netflix, but they're not super great. They're not the good ones. And help yourself out. Some of them are really close to the story and some of them are not so much. And that might be a really fun thing for you to look at, is that compare and contrast, but it at least gives you an impression of what that looks like on the stage. What finals are going to look like, we don't really know exactly. We are not going to have a final test for Romeo and Juliet. There's going to be a final project that you're going to get a chance to do, and that will be announced probably sometime next week, just so that you guys can be planning and looking forward to that. But just so you guys know, there's not going to be a final test in this class. Watch the recaps, look at the resources. You have the internet at your fingertips. Find the information. If you're like, I don't know what happened during this scene, then look it up, because there's a ton of people who are willing to explain it and get that information to you. Along those lines, next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a live discussion. So I'm going to be going through the story or going through Act 4 and 5 and doing kind of a live breakdown of some of those parts. So plan for that next week, especially if you're like, I still have no idea what's going on. I don't know how to read this. Help yourself out. So I'm going to be doing that next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I'll send out information about that on Google Classroom. As always, I have those office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 10 o'clock and 11. Those are times for you to talk to me virtually so that I can answer any questions that you might have regarding what we're working on, fears that you might have, worries that you have, concerns that you have moving forward. Like I said, we are not going to be able to see each other physically before the end of the year, but I want to make sure that you have as much information and as much help as you possibly can. The last thing that I want to talk about is making sure that you are taking care of yourselves. I know I keep saying it and I sound like a broken record, but during this time, not only are you having patience with other people, but have patience and give yourself a lot of grace in the midst of this. A lot of you have sent me messages saying like, I'm super stressed out, I can't do this, I can't do this. Y'all, we're in the middle of a traumatic experience and a global trauma like this. I mean, this is not something that you're going to forget about. And it's not something that we move back from normal. So give yourself grace to kind of experience this emotional trauma and this grief that a lot of us are going through. So make sure that you're giving yourself a break. Or one of my favorite questions to ask during this time is, what's the next right thing for me to do? Instead of asking myself like, okay, how can I be productive today? My goal has been, okay, what's the next right thing? What's going to be good for me in the next, even the next hour? Sometimes you're just living hour by hour and that's okay. So make sure that you're please taking care of yourself in that sense. What you did yesterday, and maybe you were super productive yesterday, may not be where you're at today and might not be where you're at tomorrow. So give yourself the freedom to live in this body in this moment. And I think that's going to help bring a lot of freedom to, and a lot like de-stress a little bit. I miss you guys. And I'm really sorry that this is the situation, but we're all just trying the best that we can in the circumstances that we have. So take care of yourselves, reach out if you need help, and I will talk to y'all soon.